Hi.
Hi, Lucy. All right there?
Yeah, I'm good.
You comfortable?
Yes.
Or as comfortable as you're going to be
Oh,
at the
I'm
moment?
so sweaty.
Oh, darling.
So sweaty
not
and
long.
big.
It's not long. All right.
No, it's not long. 10 days. Ooh.
I know, not long. Woohoo! Exciting. Portraits.
Oh.
I've left it till
I
last.
shouldn't make that sound actually. I should be really enthusiastic. Like,
Yeah, I'm enthusiastic.
portraits. Actually, Mum is going to break it down so it makes it easier. So that's good.
I am. But also, we've been doing all that work over the last few weeks, particularly with the botanicals.
Yeah.
And then last week with the feet, and the week before with the hands.
With the help from Betty today.
Yeah.
Hi, Betty.
And actually, whatever I'm going to say about humans and the human anatomy, and looking at proportions for the human head, could also apply to our dear little Betty.
Oh,
Down
there
here
she
too.
is. I'll
Yes.
help her.
All right, gorgeous. Right then. So, week 9 is about basics.
Yeah.
Looking at the basics. All right. And you'll see I've already done some skulls
Here's what I did earlier.
up here. One I did earlier because otherwise it just gets a bit boring if people want to sit there.
Yeah, you don't
watching
want to watch a full
me. No,
hour-long video.
no,
Or...
there's plenty online for people
Yeah.
to go and do that. So I'm just here just to tell them what the exercises are going to be for this week, and just to talk a bit about proportions and things. The first thing I want them to do is I want them to sit down in front of a mirror, just look at themselves for a start, or if you real aversion to that, get somebody else to sit in front of you so that you can look at them quite closely.
Yeah.
And just just really look. It's just that extra level of observation. Also, I want want them to feel their head. So I want them to feel, where the skull
Do this
is.
on your own so you don't look like a weirdo. Don't do it when you've got someone visiting.
I'll
Start feeling your face.
I'll leave that up to them.
Or feel someone else's
Or feel
face.
someone else's
Just warn them
face.
if you do that.
But only if they're in the same household as you.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, sorry, still sticking to
Yeah,
all
come
the
up 2
rules.
meters. All right. Okay, so the first thing I want them to do is do all the feeling their face and just try and feel the bone structure
Yeah.
underneath, because just like we did with the hands and the feet, having an awareness of the structure and everything that's going on underneath will really help when you come to do a portrait.
Yeah.
All right. So then what I want them to do is I've given them an illustration in the handout. So I just want them to copy those. They'll be able to see how to break that down. There are when you look online or in books, there's lots of different ways of breaking down portraits and how you do them, proportions and things like that. So I'm just really going through a couple
Yeah.
today. So I've done 3 skulls here, 3 different viewpoints. This is the main sort of obviously looking forward.
Yeah.
And essentially it starts off as a bit of a circle with
With an extra bit.
extra bit.
Looks like a
on the
plant pot
top.
almost.
Looks like a plant pot with a balloon
Like a tennis ball.
sitting in the top or something.
Yeah.
All right.
Again, starting with shapes.
Starting with shapes, and once you've got, I've done it really heavy here, but they could do it really softly. They could do this bit really softly, and then they can build up a little bit of detail.
Yeah.
All right, and that is just copying from the pictures that I've.
So are these
put.
are these sort of descriptions in the weekly handout?
They are indeed.
There you go. I've got my copy.
And actually, those pictures that I've given are taken from Jake Spicer's book, and I've recommended it in the in the handout as well. And like I say, lots of resources online, which again I've given them in the handout. All right. So try doing the three different views.
Yeah.
All right. After that, what I want them to do is I want them to move on to having a go at doing a portrait. This is where I'm going to talk about proportions and features and trying to get things in the right place.
You can't see my face, but I just made a face when she said proportions. Just
So I've got one that I did earlier.
Because she's clever.
Well, I've not clever, but prepared it. Right.
Look at that.
You'd be very critical of your own work, so I'm not
Well, my version of drawing a portrait is to draw an oval and then to shove lines through it.
Well,
So
there are different ways of starting, right? One of the basic ways is to draw a square or a rectangle.
okay, so not your standard oval.
Not your standard oval, all right?
Mhm.
Draw. So what I've done here, I'm just drawing it so you can see.
I'm just going to stand up and
Come
get
a
a
bit
bit closer
closer.
so we can see the.
So here's the centre
Yeah.
line, all right? Now, if your figure is sitting upright and his head is absolutely dead straight, then that will be a straight line.
Yeah.
But you may have to hold your pencil up, and it may just tilt
Yeah.
either side. So you might
Depending
need
on
to do a
what angle your face is
yeah.
at.
All right. So that's. And then what we do is we do a little measurement from the centre to the side of the face, and again the other side. And then what we're doing is we're creating a box. I'm just doing this really, really roughly. Okay.
So measurement, you do that by. If you're working from a picture, then you use like the tools that we have used previously in the Botanicals Week, or to measure.
You can do, yeah, you can do. You can use those, or you can just use your pencil.
Right,
to
so just
measure.
by putting it up and holding.
Yeah, so let's put my pencil here. So I can hold my pencil up here.
Right,
And
yeah.
then I can make sure that I've got it the other side, so they're even
Yeah.
each side. Right. Now these are basic proportions. Now obviously each of us is individual, and those proportions will vary a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. After that, the standard is, this is the top of the skull. Now you'll see that it's not the hairline.
Yeah.
All right. It's
You've got the
it's
extra
further
bit.
up. She's got quite a high forehead, so I'm quite lucky in this case, but I can actually see.
She's probably got a 5-finger forehead.
Now, that and the bottom of the chin there, halfway between that point and that point, should be where the eyes are.
Yeah.
All right, and that's quite deceiving because of we don't always. So that is halfway from there.
Yeah, which is funny because it doesn't always look halfway, does it?
No, and it is a classic mistake to put the eyes too far up.
Yeah. It's the kind of mistake I'd make.
Okay, so that's one. All right.
Yeah.
Now the other thing is that you locate the hairline,
Right.
top of the forehead, okay, which is here in that case,
High up.
high up, and from there to the eyebrows is a third. The second third is from the eyebrows to the bottom of the nose.
It's going a bit closer. Just gonna.
Right, so this is a third here to the eyebrows, and then we've got another third which goes to the bottom of the nose,
Yeah.
and then the final third again drops down to the chin.
There we go.
Right. I quite like the thirds.
Right, now
because
get
I
your hand
think-
out the way so I can.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. Can
What's
you
your
see? There you go. You can put your hand back now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another little thing which is quite good to locate is in this middle third if you break that down into sort of roughly 3, you'll get where the, in fact I should bring that a little bit lower, but you get where the nose, that bridge of that nose starts.
Yeah.
All right, and that is 1/3 of that centre third.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you want to tackle a portrait, you can put all of this in really, really softly.
Yeah. So just using what very light pencil.
Very, very light pencil or a little bit of charcoal. Just keep it very, very light and soft. The point about that is that what you're going to do after you've got your box in is that you're going to start to chisel away and carve away bits. So you then start, I've got a box here, so you then start to think, right, okay, well that's coming across there.
I'm just going to get close.
So you start to chisel bits away.
So this is when you've got your sort of main square still, and you're just trying to put in the outer shapes of the face.
It's almost like sculpting then.
Yeah.
All right? You're slowly don't put the features in too much detail. Literally just put a little mark in which will indicate. So if you've got your square, I'll try and you can come in a bit closer in a minute. And we'll say that's halfway there.
And you've put all the lines in that you can see in this one.
All right. So this is the bottom of the nose. So we can literally just put, say, a little line which indicates the bottom of the nose. All right. And then you break this third down again. So we get and the mouth in here. So you're gradually just building bits up. Right, this is where your eyes are going. So I'm not going to do any detail for the moment, but you can see how, I mean, gradually what you do is you start chiseling bits away to get those shapes. If you start doing it like that, you know, as you keep looking and you're getting your eye in, you can start thinking, well, actually that needs to come, that angle needs to change slightly, or that needs to come in a bit more. So you can keep making adjustments.
It's quite nice. It's quite nice to take bits out of it and carve away rather than have that.
Yeah. So you're just
my
sort
classic oval. Makes it a lot difficult.
I mean, you can do, and also you can do it the same way as the skull. You could put the skull in first. That's why I'm asking them to do the skull. So you can put the
and then
the
add
skull
the
in,
sort of
and then
out the skin, so to speak, in a way.
Again, so you've got your proportions. So make sure that you've got your proportions. So you know that your eyes are going to be in here. There's the eye sockets. All right. So the eyes are going to, are going to be in here. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can build it up from this.
Whatever way you find is easiest for you.
Well, I suppose what I'm trying to say is there's different ways of doing it.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong. But the pointers for it, I suppose, are don't go for the detail.
Yeah.
Just get your proportions in the right place. Make sure and you can do that then by measuring. If you've got a photograph, you can even put these lines onto your photograph just to make sure that you've. Again,
I like that idea.
You're getting
do you
everything
use
in the right place.
Your this is where my technical language comes in. What is that?
Well,
is that something
I
that
just
you
put
use?
this up because you can use this. I mean, the reason I've got this is for twofold. Is that you could, if you're going to do a self-portrait.
Oh, which we'll get onto later.
Which we're going to get onto
later. I'm jumping ahead.
No. They can put a mirror here.
Right.
Which gives them something to look at. The other thing is that actually, if they've got a model, or if they've got a photograph, you could put a grid.
Right. Yeah. Over the photograph or.
The photograph. If that helps.
Yeah.
Then there are apps and things that you can get to go onto your computer or your iPad.
Is there?
Yeah, which will superimpose a grid over the top of a photograph.
Oh, that's fancy.
Yeah, so that's an option.
I'll do that.
I personally would like them to try to do it without that.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Only because I think that it's all about the looking.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
So once you've got your proportions and you've basically mapped out where your features are.
Yeah.
The next thing I want them to do is to look at the shadows and the shapes of the shadows. So here, I put these lines in, these blocks of shadow in first. So you literally just put these in.
I'm going to come on closer again.
So you put in the lines of.
And you've worked this photo from a. You've worked this photo. I've just given the answer.
I have worked this from a photograph.
From a
yes,
photograph,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, this one was from a photograph. But can you see? I'm just you can put in blocks of.
Well, that's quite
Doesn't have to be
an
precise.
interesting way to do it.
Doesn't have to be precise. There's a big shadow over the top here.
Definitely gives it a better dimension
All right.
rather than just starting with putting in the mouth and nose and things.
Yes, and that way you can start to see it starts to become a three-dimensional.
Yeah, and you started with the eyes, so you've started from the inside.
Mainly because in this one they were quite a strong. And again, I'm going a bit darker here, but don't go too dark too soon.
So you can build it up.
Because you can build it. And actually you may need to take some of this back with
Yeah.
the rubber.
Yeah.
And also just to sort of use your fingers to sort of blend it. But when you're blending it, appreciate the shape
The
of
shapes.
the form. And that way we start to build up. Right?
Mm.
And then gradually what happens is you go in with a bit more detail. But just a bit at a time, not too much. Just so you start to get, things in place.
Yeah.
Just looking a bit cross now. So this week then.
This is the picture Mum has worked from. Here it is. Very good.
Apart from the fact that I've realised that her eyes are a bit.
Well, you didn't need to say that, did you?
I wanted to say that because of, it's no.
Everyone makes mistakes.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Mum's not happy with her eye, basically, is what she's saying.
Yeah. All right. So half, thirds. All right. There's lots of other proportions. You should have 5 eyes. You should have another eye and be able to fit another eye in the middle. All right. So think about the width of your eyes.
I wondered what you were saying then with 5 eyes. I was
5 eyes.
like,
Yeah. We should be able to
sounds
fit
like an alien.
You should be able to fit another eye essentially in the middle.
In the middle,
there.
unless you're my brother. His eyes are too close together.
And he's got little ears.
Yeah, he's got tiny ears. Unnatural.
But that then is your next level of looking. And as you keep altering and changing little things, you start to get a likeness coming. Don't worry about, I don't want them to worry about if they get a likeness or not. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But if they then keep looking and keep changing and altering things, the likeness will come.
Yeah.
All right?
The likeness is like the holy grail of portraits.
It is, yes. Yeah, and actually one of the books does say that.
Does it?
Yeah,
Does
funny
it?
enough, yeah. All right, so I think that's it for this week.
Yeah.
Because I just want them to get going. I want them to have a think about
Get those proportions right.
where all the features fit and how everything
Yeah.
fits in. All right, and then next week is self-portraits, and I'm going to talk about doing things maybe slightly differently next week.
And do self-portraits on a day where you feel good.
Yes.
No one wants to look at themselves too long on an off day, do they?
No.
No. Okay, fab.
All right.
Right, yeah, next
Okay.
week self-portraits.
Next week, self-portraits. So
Okay.
have a good week.
Enjoy.
All right.
Bye.